What's up, guys? My name is Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed. Join with me today is somebody else who also makes music in my shed. Voted most creative in high school. My bad. Teen James Pres Washington.
It's insane that's accurate. That's accurate.
No, I know.
Wow, I mean, you just come up with all of these things that I didn't even realize, but like these are true statements.
Yeah.
Every time. How
Yeah.
do you do it?
Oh God. Yeah. How do you feel about that being voted that?
I mean,
God. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm like coughing. This wasn't
Crazy.
supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen.
I
What do
mean,
you think of that? What do you think of that?
Didn't make any sense when it happened, to be honest. Still don't think that rings true. But I do have the title.
You got the title.
Like the
Class of
certificate
2019.
is in my room. Like it's there.
We got certificates?
Did we not?
I don't know.
You didn't get a certificate?
I don't remember getting one, but maybe I just like got one. I didn't care about it.
I don't know. I really think that there was certificates. I don't remember.
Send me a picture of it.
Bro, you want me to go and find that?
Okay, never mind then. I would, because I would have put it up on the podcast and like shown people that like we're stating true facts right now.
Oh, okay. Well, now I have to kind of find it. All right.
I mean, if you find it, let me know.
All right. And if I forget to send it to you, then text me and I'll find it.
If I remember. Hey guys, comment down below if we forget.
Real. It's true, guys. I swear it exists.
Just to add on to this, since we're on the topic, I was voted most musically talented in high school. That was a flex. That's my biggest flex to this day.
And see, like realistically, you should have got both.
Thank
like,
you.
You know,
Thank
like,
you. Thank you.
should have.
I could have only been given one, bro. Could have only been given one.
That was some high school like we have to split the pie thing.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
bro's also the most creative. Like don't get it twisted.
Thank you. So today we're gonna be going over the lyrics and cover art of my latest song, Not Okay. And just a disclaimer for the beginning of this episode. This is probably gonna be a deeper one, a little heavier one, because this is a little more I guess quote unquote taboo territory, if you want to say. You know, this song is about my anxiety. And so we're gonna be talking about that a little bit more. And so if you're somebody that you know also has some anxiety, deals with anxiety, just letting you know, this is what we're gonna be talking about. You know, and don't know where it's gonna go, but it's gonna get real. I'm assuming. I don't know what he's got for me in store, but I think it's gonna be some good questions. So just want to throw that out there before we move on. And another thing before we move on, I got my first radish, bro. First radish of the garden, and I wanted to taste test the first radish of the season on the podcast.
Oh snap!
Just pulled this out right now. Never tried this radish before. Honestly, don't remember what it's called. But I've never had this kind of radish. I do like radishes, but I will say I have not been tending to my garden as I should have. So this might be a little like spicy and bitter, and that might not just be from the radish. That just might be like me not being a good gardener, a good plant dad. Do you want to try this?
Okay, so like I was thinking about that, right? And I was in until you said possibly spicy, and then I was out immediately.
Damn. Cause I know you don't like radishes, so I was assuming I was just gonna eat this on my own. But like, if you want to try some of this too, like feel free.
No, I think you should one bite that. If I'm being
honest.
honest.
Was literally gonna do that. Take off the tail first is the first thing, because the tail is typically like the spice. Like for whatever reason, like everything's just concentrated in this tail.
Yeah.
From my experience eating radishes, when I grew them, like you bite this thing and it's just radish times 100.
Oh wow.
So we're throwing that to the side, and then obviously you take off the greens. You can actually eat the greens of a radish, like you could toss on a salad or something, but they're not like the best greens, you know. Yeah, you eat it for the bulb. We're also gonna toss the greens to the side. All right, you guys ready? It's washed, by the way. I did wash this, like, you know, it's a clean radish.
Here it goes, man. Drum roll.
Well, are you gonna do it?
Well, I don't know if you wanted me to with the mics and everything. I don't know how that...
No, you should do it.
All right.
3, 2, 1. It's definitely a radish, bro.
He did it, guys.
We did it. That's what we were supposed to do.
Successful radish growth.
I will say, it probably needs to be watered more, because it is a little spongy, rather than like crisp, like a nice crisp radish. It's like a spongier radish. But it's like Not like an off-putting flavor or anything like that. It's spicy, but that's just how radishes are. Maybe like slightly metallic flavor to it, but that's also could be just because of my watering. I didn't give it. I'm not, and I like I said, I haven't been taking care of it like I should be. But no, I mean, I'm satisfied. Good radish, good fill of the stomach. Nice little snack for the podcast.
There we go.
Hope you guys like the ASMR of me chewing on that radish. All right, so let's get a listen to this song before we get into the lyrics. This is Not Okay.
Every time I think I'm fine, guess I'm just scared I'm not. You find a way to cross my mind. Guess I'm just scared I'm not. Palms are tense, my chest is tight. Guess I'm just scared I'm not. Tell myself I'll be alright. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. No other way I can explain. I try to turn the other way. Guess I'm just scared I'm not over the things that trigger the way I feel. I wish I could say it's not real, but all my fears they are. I tell myself to grab hold of the wheel. Wish I could say it's no big deal, and I can steer the car. I wonder why I can't hold down my guard. Guess I'm just scared I'm not. Don't know where I'm going. Guess I'm just scared I'm not. When was life this hard? Guess I'm just scared I'm not. How does one control it? Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. No other way I can explain. I try to turn the other way. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Hold down my guard. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Don't know where I'm going. Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. When was life this hard? Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. How does one control it? Guess I'm just scared I'm not
Sheesh. That right there, my friends, is Not Okay. The song
By Adriel Rivera.
by Adriel Rivera. So yeah, you ready to get into these
Are we
lyrics?
diving into
I think
it or what?
I think we're diving into these lyrics, bro.
All right.
All right.
Well, first I want to say, which we did mention in the last episode, but I do really like within the verse when you do like the whole cutoff thing. Like I think that is really cool, and then I also like it because even without the I'm not like that part, the lyrics still flow and make sense, and I like that too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is, but like that type of stuff and the transitions and everything, like that's really what like completes the song for me.
That's what music's about, bro.
Yeah. So great job with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But like the big question, right? Guess I'm just scared I'm not okay, right? Not okay in what sense? What are you talking about, Adriel?
Sheesh. Okay. I mean, this one question can be broken down into so much. There's so many things that go behind that one lyric. But I guess, do I start from the beginning? Do I start from the very beginning?
I mean, I don't see why not. Like that's what this long form podcast is for, right?
That's facts. Okay, so I don't know if I would ever consider myself, or would have ever considered myself, somebody with anxiety. Definitely, like, I would have moments of anxiousness, but like everybody gets anxious. It's like, it's a common human feeling.
Yeah.
And so I would feel anxiety, but just as like a result of being late on something, or like, the amount of anxiety a regular person will face in their day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and while I did have some feeling that maybe there could be like, a little bit of extra anxiety that is more than the average person, because I am definitely a ruminator, a type of person that like will really think over on something And so like although I've had thoughts of like maybe I am slightly more anxious than the average person, I never like would have clinically diagnosed myself as somebody with anxiety. That changed this last year, which and like the biggest reason, like I honestly like being able to look at it and stuff, like I know why. So like late September, early October of 2023, I had a spontaneous pneumothorax, right? So that means that my lung spontaneously collapsed, my left lung. And it was weird. I mean, there's no reason to it. Like it was just out of nowhere. I didn't get into any accidents or anything like that. Like, just woke up one morning, had a pain in my chest. And it was there for like a few days. I didn't know what it was. Cause I mean, sometimes I'll get like chest pains and stuff, but it's like you've probably had some chest pains before, and like it just goes away,
right?
And so that's all I thought. Cause it wasn't anything like super severe. Like I wasn't like in excruciating pain. I just had some chest pain, and like the chest pain actually did end up like dying down. Like it went away, but there was still some like really weird like feelings in my chest. Like it didn't feel normal, right? Like it felt like there was like a weight in there that was like pulling down, like a physical weight. And so like after a few days, I went to go get it checked out. Like I went to urgent care because I was like, this feels weird, I probably shouldn't feel this way. And as a little side note, during this time too, I actually had a little show that I played, a house show. And so I performed on a collapsed lung, which is crazy. Just throw that in there.
Insane.
It's wild. But yeah, so
and you sounded great while doing it.
Thank you. Yeah, and like because I had a collapsed lung, like there was like some shortness of breath and stuff like that. And so it's like obviously like with these like feelings of that, it's like I probably should get this checked out, right? This doesn't feel normal. And I thought it was something with like my heart, because it felt very like deep in there. And I do get like PVCs, I don't know what the acronym is, but like it's basically like you get, and it's like a very common thing. Mm-hmm. I think around 40 to 50% of people like you have it, will get PVCs. But it's just like when you there's like a lag in your neural system where your heart will feel like it skips a beat, but it's actually just kind of lagging on its like heartbeat, so your heart's just kind of, and it's nothing life threatening like that, that nothing ever happens. It's like, or not that nothing ever happens, but there's usually nothing wrong with it unless you have underlying health, like heart issues and stuff like that. Yeah. Which I don't. That I know of. I don't. And so, but because I do experience that and stuff like that, and I do drink caffeine. Did drink a lot of caffeine. Like, Panera Sip Club, those charged lemonades, bro. Those charged lemonades. I'm kind of glad they got rid of them because they put way too much caffeine in that. Anyway, a combination of like, having some caffeine on the regular, PVC, stuff like that, made me realize like, or not realize, but think like, what if it's like a heart thing? So I went to urgent care. They did X-ray, EKG, which EKG is like a heart, I guess, monitor thing, like a really quick to check how things are working. I don't know how it works, but they did an EKG, they did X-rays, and they like and they checked like blood pressure and stuff like that, right? Because when I came in, it's like I explained the whole heart caffeine thing, possibly being the thing. And they said that like, nope, your heart looks fine. Like, EKG came out great. Your blood pressure is actually amazing. Shout out doctors. Appreciate it. But, and they like, they did the X-ray and like, everything looked all right. So I was like on my way back, and I went to go get like Jimmy John's, and then, I get a call from them being like, hey, we actually looked at your X-rays and like your left lung is collapsing. And like, I was like, what? Like, that was crazy to hear. I was like, what do you mean? Like, how did that, like, how is it just collapsing? They're like, you need to go to the emergency room, like, right now. I was like, okay, and I'm like, and I'm like keeping calm, but I'm like, it's a little, like, it's crazy. It's scary to hear that, you know, that your left lung's collapsing. And we're supposed to go to Atlanta in a few days, too.
Yes.
This is a crazy part.
Yes, we were.
To film one of your music videos. And so I had my Jimmy John's with me, but I left it in the car because I'm like, I got to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, went into the emergency room. You know, then they sent all my information to the hospital that I went to, so they like got me situated, settled, and they're like, your lung looks good. Like, it doesn't look good, obviously it's collapsing, but it's like you're at like the brink where like we might have to do a procedure, but they're like, or we might not, because sometimes it just like corrects on its own. And so they said it was like 35% collapsed, right, or something like that. And so they're like, we're gonna keep you here for a few hours. If it starts to get better, we will kind of just like let it ride out, and then like, you know, just see if it'll fix itself. And if not, we'll have to do a procedure. Yeah. And so a few hours go by, they're like, we didn't really notice much of a difference. If anything, it might have gotten a little worse. So they're like, we're gonna do a procedure. And so they poked a tube into me so that they could get the extra air out. Which, by the way, if you don't know how a collapsed lung works, because you would assume that like if it's collapsed, there's no air, but actually a collapsed lung, how it works is like you have the sac, and then like your lung is like a balloon that fills the sac. And so if air gets in between that balloon and sac part, like that's when the lung collapses, because there's air that's pushing against the lung. And so to make it uncollapse, you put a tube in there, take out the extra air so that it refills back up, and then boom. So that's what they did, and I had to be awake during it, right? And so they did anesthesia and stuff. So like I didn't, local anesthesia. So I didn't feel, well, it's weird. I felt like pressure, and like I did feel slight pain, but it wasn't like super crazy, but it was just like really uncomfortable and really just scary, you know, like just to feel it. In the moment, I wasn't thinking about it too much, because I was like, no other option. Like, this is the thing I had to do. Like, let's just do it. Let's get it over with. So like, you know, powered through it. And like, you know, afterwards, like I remember like sitting there, and I had the local anesthesia, but I like, they were going to go get me, some other like painkillers to like, you know, help ease the pain, because I literally just got a hole poked into my chest, you know, to take air out. And so I'm just sitting there, and I remember like the anesthesia started wearing off, dude. Easily one of the worst pains I've ever felt. I almost passed out, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, because they also had to leave the room to get it too, so nobody else was in the room with me, and like I'm just sitting there with the anesthesia wearing off, and I'm like, oh my god, like there's been so many times in my life where I've gotten so close to passing out. This was one of them, and this was the closest. Like I was like almost there, but something about me, my body, is that it just does not want me to pass out. So it's like I'm like struggling to stay open, stay awake. And I'm there too, like trying to like yell, be like, somebody help, you know, but I don't want to be too loud. I was a little self-conscious about that, but at the same time too, like I'm in serious pain. Yeah. And also I just got like my lung poked, so I also didn't want to yell because of that. But yeah. Anyway, finally did get the painkiller and stuff. But since then, like the night I was there overnight, they looked at me. They're like, "Hey, you're pretty much good to go." So like I was only there for a day, and like I went home the day after. But yeah, that whole experience, like at the time when I went through it, it's like I was like, I didn't feel like it affected me that much, you know. I didn't feel like scarred or anything from it, you know. I mean, I do kind of have a little bit of a scar, but like it's a really minor one. But like mentally, emotionally, I didn't feel scarred, you know. It's like I wasn't like oh, this that was a crazy experience. I was like, you know, my lung collapsed. And I mean, you know, low-key kind of feel like a badass being able to say that I performed the collapsed lung, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not like super scarred from it, but I think the trauma comes from like the fear of it happening again or something worse happening, you know, because they did mention to me that if it were to happen again, which by the way, it shouldn't, because usually when like this happens spontaneously, it's a one and done thing where like it'll never happen again. Like it's just really rare occurrence. So like, it shouldn't happen. Statistically, it shouldn't happen again. But if it did happen again, they would have to do a more invasive surgery than they already did, which would have to involve scarring my lung so that they could seal it back up and then make sure like whatever hole is being poked in there doesn't get poked again. Yeah. Which that's scary. That's even scarier. And that's what freaked me out a lot. Yeah. And so this whole experience is like kind of, it's made me develop a sort of hypochondria, you know, And so with my family, like my siblings, my older brother, my younger brother, something for sure that I feel like we all kind of have is like a kind of hypochondria. My older brother has like a kind of hypochondria where he's like, he gets worried about certain stuff with like, with what he's going through and stuff. And my little brother too, I'm noticing now, which I'm like, dang it, like not that it's a bad thing, but I'm like, I don't want him to have to go through what we kind of feel.
Yeah.
But so for me growing up, I feel like I never had that kind of anxiety of like hypochondria. And by that I don't mean like hypochondria in the sense of like germs, or no, germophobia is hypochondria, germophobia, two different things. But hypochondria in the sense of like your health, I never had like any concern about my health and anything. I actually had like a disregard for my health for basically most of my life, and so that, I don't know, that was like the switch, I guess. That was like the triggering point that like kind of broke the seal on that, or whatever you want to say. And like that I think like subconsciously it like affected me a lot, because after that I would get very physical feelings of like chest pressure, and like a week afterwards I went back to the emergency room because I thought I was having like a heart attack. I was like freaking out because like my chest was so tight, like, and I just didn't know what was going on. And this was in the middle of the night too, so my dad was like took me in and all that. And then I was just having a panic attack, but it was the first panic attack I've ever had in my life. And since then, like I've had like 3 more, 2 or 3 more, which luckily it's been a minute since I had the last one, but in the span of a few months, I mean, it's like I've had a good amount, you know. And it's like like I definitely, now like have recurring feelings of like chest pressure, physical, like feels like something's wrong with like my body. But I've gotten, since the last time I visited the emergency room, multiple EKGs. I've gotten a CAT scan before too, and nothing shows up, in terms of like anything that could be wrong with my lungs, with my heart. Cardiovascular specifically is like what I'm really worried about, afraid of, is like heart failure. Like that's like the biggest thing I think that scares me a lot for whatever reason. And so like and I have no reason to be afraid. Well, yeah, I mean, I have a reason, but there's like no evidence that like there is anything that's wrong with me, because like again, EKGs, multiple of them, like 4 or 5, multiple X-rays, like more than somebody should have within like that time frame.
Yeah.
And like and the CAT scan, and like that's a lot. And then plus on top of that, I got like the blood pressure and everything. Like everything is fine with me, apparently. And I say apparently, like, like, but it should be, multiple sources have said I'm okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a mental thing where it's like, as much as I tell myself that I'm good, like my body can't accept it. And like sometimes where if I feel good, something will trigger a physical symptom in my body, in my chest, and then that will lead me to ruminate, and then that just starts spiraling, and then the anxiety gets even worse and worse. And then like that's how I've gotten panic attacks before and stuff like that. And then like, the anxiety too, like that's just kind of how it builds up. And like and I'm still going through it, I'm still trying to learn how to cope with it and things like that. But yeah, so going back, since we have the whole story, which I don't know how long that was, but going back to the first like initial questions, like what does it mean? Like, I guess I'm just scared I'm not okay. Like originally I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to write about, or not what I wanted to write, but what I wanted to get, like the message I wanted to get across with like the song about anxiety, anxiety. And originally I wanted to do something that like, I guess I'm just scared of being scared, because that's kind of like where like I get worried about my health, and then I get worried about my anxiety, and then worrying about my anxiety is triggering my anxiety, and it's just this loop. So like being scared, that's what I kind of wanted to go to. But then to make it fit with the song, and then like get like more of like what I was trying to convey. Being scared of not being okay is the main trigger of everything, and so it's like, yeah, like I'm just scared. The reason, like, my anxiety is caused because I'm scared that I'm not healthy, that I'm not okay, that I won't survive, and that ultimately my biggest fear, I think, is and it's kind of scary. Not, I don't want to say scary, but it's weird to admit it because it's like this is like I'm getting deep. Like
Yeah.
I don't usually get this deep, but like I think my biggest fear, and definitely like a lot of people's, it's not an uncommon fear, is like death. My biggest fear, I can confidently say, is like I have a big fear of death. And so obviously when you have life-threatening situations, or like if you're like being anywhere near that, it's kind of like that's what triggers my anxiety. It's like
Yeah.
not being okay, like ultimately deep down is like that's the reason. It's like if I'm not okay, that means I might be closer to dying, and then like that's what triggers the anxiety. And so it's like I guess I'm just scared that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And it's like that's like if I'm being like 100% real, like that's the real thing. That's what it is. That's really what it is. And so that's what this song. That's what the chorus means, and that's basically what this like song is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think having like that type of a health scare and then having your anxiety start to like manifest itself in physical ways, and then having that physical situation that was worrying, like it's not a great mix mentally.
Yeah. Not a good combo.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also because it's like, again, spontaneous pneumothorax, like meaning
Yeah.
that like there's no reason to it. So it's like if there's no reason, like what does that mean? There's no reason. How is there no reason to it? Like what I'm saying. So it's like yeah.
Didn't they say it's more common in people that are like taller or something?
They say it's more common in taller males that are skinnier, and I mean I wouldn't say I'm skinnier. They've said that they think that I look pretty thin, but I don't know about that. Thank you for the compliment, but like nah, like I definitely like on a weight scale am like more on the overweight side, which I'm not like self-conscious about, or like not, yeah,
Yeah,
like, whatever.
I know what you're
yeah,
saying.
right. But it's like factually, like I know that like I'm not the skinniest guy.
Yeah.
But I am tall, 6'1", and I am a male.
That's
So it's like
2 out of the 3. Yeah.
yeah, like I can't like okay, I guess it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense. Like why is it happening? Why is it happening to us tall
Yeah.
males? I guess that's the price you pay for being tall. I guess you win some, you lose some.
True.
But yeah, so that's that though. That's what it is for real.
All right, got it. My next question, I actually have 2 different questions, but I'm gonna do them one at a time. So the lyric it's based off of is "No other way I can explain. I've tried to look the other way." So when going through these problems, how long did it take you to kind of realize that that a lot of it is mental when it comes to the anxiety front?
I think it's something I'm still trying to like work with and realize, because again, this is like within the last year. This is recent, so it's like it's something I'm still trying to work through. Like it's one thing like being told it's all mental, and it's one thing like knowing that it's mental, and another thing feeling the physical stuff.
Yeah.
And I think about like I don't know if I want to touch on this too much, but my mom's schizophrenia. Like my mom has schizophrenia. And like she sees and hears things that aren't there, which she thinks are completely real, and she would argue that it's completely real because it is to her, like
Right.
she feels things, she sees things, she hears things, and so it's like, it's easy for us to be like mama, it's not real, it's like, everything's fine, everything's okay, like you don't have to, like what you're thinking right now, not true. But it's another thing to be in her shoes and actually like I literally just heard somebody talking to me like right now. Like, what are you telling me? What are you talking about? So it's like to be going through like physical symptoms of like, I literally feel my chest tightening up. Like, there's movement in there. Like this feels weird, to be told like it's all mental, it's kind of hard. Cause like I understand that it is, and I understand
Right.
that I have reason to believe that it is. Cause like I was given the factual evidence that like I'm good. Like doctors have told me I'm good. Multiple different doctors have told me I'm good. But it's like that. Like, but I still feel it.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling this stuff. Like so it's like as much as I try to tell myself it's mental, my body doesn't. It's not. They're not matching. It's
Yeah.
not going. It's not lining.
Yeah.
So it's like. It's definitely something I'm still working through, still trying to grasp and accept. And I think I'm getting better at it. I haven't had a panic attack in a minute, so I think like, I'm kind of like I'm getting better, but it's still something to work through, that I'm working through. What was the other part of the question?
So the second part of the question then is, what were some of the things that you were thinking that like it could be, or what were some of the reasons that you were justifying stuff in your head for like the physical symptoms? I know you said you were worried about like the heart and everything.
Yeah. So like, I mean, there was another time a few years back where I did go to the emergency room because I was having like multiple PVCs in a day, and I didn't know at the time what it was, but like, I could feel like a fluttering in my chest, and when I was like feeling my pulse, all of a sudden there was like a stop, and then it'll go back again, and that freaked me out. And so I told my dad. And this was back in like 2020, I think. So we went to like the hospital, and they put an EKG and things like that. And they're like, "Oh, you're fine. You're just having PVCs." And they're like, "This is normal." And so, that's I guess always been something in the back of my mind, even though it is like a normal thing. And I've done some research into it too. Like, yeah, like it's normal. And if it's like an abnormal amount of PVCs would be like 30% of your heartbeats in the day are PVCs.
Okay.
Which is your heart beats a lot in a day.
Yeah.
So like feeling 1 or 2 PVCs in a day versus feeling 30% of your heartbeats in a day being PVCs, or like 20% or even 10%, big difference.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. So it's like I know I'm good. I just had a weird day where I was feeling multiple, but even then I don't even know if I would consider that to be like, frequent, but I'm good. But like things like that, it's like, what if that means something else?
Yeah.
Like what if that means something else? What if my lung collapses again? Like things like that. Like definitely like those are things that make me ruminate and then spiral into this whole questioning, like is this what is this what this is, so it's yeah.
So is it very much focused on your health? Like, do you not really realize that you're getting anxious until you feel it, or do you notice it mentally first? You notice like a scatterbrain or whatever it may be.
No, I think it's usually until I feel it. Like once I feel it, that's when it starts like, oh shoot, and it's like it's weird. Because, like, I'm still trying to figure out what triggers it and stuff. There was a time where, like, I heard about, like, an 18-year-old, like, passing away from, like, cardiac arrest out of nowhere. Just sudden cardiac arrest. Like, just nothing, And that's crazy. That's scary. And then that triggered my anxiety when I heard that. And, like, for the next few weeks, I was just, like, it was so severe,
Yeah.
So there's that, And then there's other times where it's, like, if I just drink a cold drink, because the drink is cold and it's going through my chest feels cold, and then that triggers it, which that sucks,
Yeah.
Caffeinated drinks, drinking caffeinated drinks, going through that, and like, just increased like heart rate, could trigger a PVC. And then when that triggers, it's like, then that, like, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's so many different things. And it's like not even that I'm like looking out for it either, like, or I'm thinking like, oh, like something's gonna be wrong or anything, but it's just like something happens and the other thing, and then it's just domino effect, and like, it's, damn, what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. My next question is, I wish I could say it's not real, but all my fears, they are. I think that like that type of statement is really important. When we were speaking earlier, you speak briefly about your mom and how those things are real to the person, right? And you have to treat it as such, like it very much is a real thing. So, and then I wanted to ask, have you, Sorry.
You're good.
So how have you worked at it and worked on, I guess, because I guess at the base of it, then what you'd want to do is try to not feel those fears as much.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of things have you done to try to tackle those fears?
Definitely, like, well, one thing that helps is like kind of being distracted with like work, you know. I think one of the reasons why maybe I've gone this is me looking at it right now, like, you know, I'm just thinking this right now. One of the reasons maybe why I've gone so productive this year could be that like that work just distracts me from thinking about other things, you know. And so if I just if I distract myself with being productive, it makes me feel good because I'm working towards something else, something I want to do with my life. And it's like, and it distracts me. So that might be one of the reasons why I've been so productive this year. But another thing, like, I've been taking fish oil, and fish oil overall is like supposed to be just like a really good supplement, like a good, like, overarching general supplement to take, especially for like heart health and stuff. And even if it's just placebo, it's giving me a little bit more ease of mind that I'm doing something to give myself a little more, you know, like security for the rest of my life. And I haven't gone back into the gym. Actually, I went to the gym like a little bit after I got, like, you know, went through the whole thing. I don't know, I took a few months off of the gym after I went through my Northermax, and when I went back to the gym, that triggered my anxiety because I was pulling weight, doing pressure and on my chest, and then that like triggered it for like a good few days or weeks. So that was another thing, but I got over that hurdle because, like, I don't want to stop going to the gym. Right. You know, I haven't gone back in a little bit, but that's not because of anxiety. That's just because I've been distracted with work and things like that. But going to the gym helps, and like just doing it a lot, like thinking about it right now. Like I said, I got anxiety when I went to the gym for the first time after like a big break. But I just kept going back and like fighting through it because I'm like, I'm not going to stop going to the gym. I have to go, you know, even if I feel this anxiety, I have to go. And now I don't feel it when I go to the gym, which, like, I don't know what you call that, but like exposure therapy, you know. It's like if the gym was the trigger for my anxiety, if I just keep going to the gym, like, my body's going to get used to it. And it's like, then eventually I'll be okay. And so I think exposure therapy is another thing that, like, I guess I'm kind of doing, not through a therapist or anything, but just on my own. Like with the cold drink thing, I kind of realized that. And so it's like, I'm kind of consciously drinking cold drinks now, telling myself, like, this is a cold drink. You're going to feel this in your chest. You'll be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And low-key it is kind of helping, you know. This is something I started doing recently. But I guess, yeah.
That's good.
I guess exposure therapy is one of the things I've been doing. You know, I wouldn't say it's for everybody, you know, but like just like trying to push through it, be like, and live life as if it's, you know, it's as if just live life normally, like, 'cause that's kind of what you have to do. And yeah, actually, and that's another thing too, because I did for a good moment listen to a lot of anxiety podcasts, and like, because it was so bad, I was like, I just want to get better, you know. And so like one of the things that a lot of the people have said when they're dealing with anxiety is just to keep living life and like detach yourself from the feeling rather than the feeling being, I guess, part of you. I'm not wording this the right way, but if you understand what I'm trying to say, it's like basically going on with life as usual, you know? Yeah. And that's just what I'm trying to do, what I keep doing. I did try doing meditation for a bit. Haven't done it in a minute, but meditation, I've heard, is supposed to be really good for you. Would like to kind of go back into it potentially, but I'm doing all right so far. But yeah, still figuring out how to work through it though, for sure, you know. But yeah,
I think those processes make sense to me, because especially when it comes to like the physical aspect, like the exposure, like that, it makes sense that that's what that is, especially once you know and you've gotten doctors saying, hey, you're okay, this is anxiety, you know, you're able to better just like, I'm going to take their word for it and just, you know, let me be me and keep doing what I'm doing, and then let it keep, you know, slowing down or softening, you know? Yeah. So you said towards the end of the song, when was life this hard? You think life is going to get easier? What you think?
I mean, obviously not. Yeah, but like, and I mean, I'm a big believer in like everything happens for a reason. Like we've talked about this multiple times, and so it's like, yeah, like this sucks to go through it and stuff like that. But like, it's like the lessons that I'm learning through it. It's like, it's gonna be somehow worth it in some way. Like something. This is gonna teach me something that I feel like I will be grateful for sometime down the line. And so like like I know life's not gonna get easier. Life, but like it does suck sometimes when you're going through it because it's like, especially in my case, it's like I know that before the whole New Orthodox, this was not a problem, and then when it happened, it was like, and it's a big problem. One of my biggest problems that I'm facing right now,
Yeah.
or probably the biggest problem that I'm facing right now is anxiety, and so it's like how did it go from this time last year being all good to like now just like, it's crazy. Life's crazy, bro.
Life is crazy. And yeah, I think it's about, because like life is progressively going to get harder. You're always going to have your obstacles and everything, but it's about like trying to figure out how to solve that one problem so that when that problem, happens again, you have a better way of dealing with it than you did the last time. And I think that is one of the things that you're building with like the exposure and everything,
Right.
But yeah. That's what I got for you on the lyric front.
All right, cool. Definitely like, you reminded me of something that I wanted to mention. I'm trying to think, because you gave me a thought in my head that I wanted to kind of touch on when it comes to anxiety. But damn, it slipped my mind.
It happens, man. It's okay.
Thank you. How about you though? I know sometimes you talk about like that you feel anxious. I don't think it's the same kind of anxiety that I experience, in terms of like the hypochondria and stuff like that. But I know you say that you also kind of go through some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your experience? And would you say it's would you say it's just like anxiety as a human emotion, or anxiety in a more clinical way?
I think it's become more anxiety in a clinical way. I'm someone who's very much consumed with work and like pretty much always thinking about work, because it's kind of become my life, and like hip hop is just such a huge part of who I am, but my anxiety is very much more mental and like overanalyzing, overthinking everything. But it has gotten physical, and I have had like panic attacks at certain points, and almost always I can like I immediately know like why that happened. It was because I was freaking out about everything earlier. That's kind of how my anxiety. That's what my anxiety looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it be sucking sometimes.
It do, for real.
But I also like. I think that also, in a way, helps me work more and work better, and I get buried in the work and everything. And because I'll spend that time freaking out about it, but then I'll be like, all right, stop, Tegan, stop freaking out about it, and go do what you can do to not freak out about it again in the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah,
I get you, for sure. Yeah, it is weird because I definitely feel like it does kind of push you in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Emotions are weird, for real.
Yeah. I mean, I would not recommend somebody picking up anxiety so they could work better. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. But, hey, bro, it happens. Man, what I wanted to touch on when it came to anxiety was something I felt like would have been really important. And it sucks that I don't remember what I wanted to say, what I want to talk about it. Do you have any general anxiety questions for me? Because maybe that'll trigger what I wanted to say in my brain.
Let's see. Do you? I mean, I don't know. This is like it's such a vague question that you're not going to be able to answer. Do you think that it's going to go away, or do you think you're just going to get better at dealing with it and acknowledging it when it's happening?
That I think that's what it's going to be more of, because like I mean, even listening to people who have had what do you call it, crippling anxiety, you know, from the podcast and stuff like that, they say that it's like, you know, it's something that you manage, you know, and it's not going to go away forever, you know. And I mean, it's different for everybody. Maybe in my case, maybe one day it will go away. But I'm in the boat where I think this is something that's probably gonna, if it's occurred the song already, it's probably gonna come back at least a little bit in my life, you know, at some points. And so it's just learning how to manage it, and live with it, and like not be mad about it, you know, like not be like kind of sad in a way, or like
Beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of just let it happen, and again carry on with the day as, you know, business as usual.
Yeah,
That's the goal. But no, that did not trigger what I was trying to think of what I was gonna say. But maybe it'll come back. Maybe it'll come back.
maybe it'll come back. Do you ever feel that type of anxiety when it comes to other people's health, like loved ones' health?
No, I don't get physical symptoms when I'm thinking about other people's health and stuff like that. And so, like, I mean, you know, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, no. I
Okay.
care about my family. I love my family. I
Yeah.
want them to be good, but I don't get anxiety like that for them. It's more so me, a narcissistic type of anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, but I mean that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So, if you guys want early access to my latest releases, terrible transition as always, but you know, feel free to sign up for early access down below in the link, and you'll get early access to my latest songs every month before anybody else hears it. Are you ready to see the cover art on this song?
I'm ready.
He's never seen the cover art, so I'm about to show you right now, bro. You ready? You excited?
Yep. Here it goes.
Boom. Oh shoot, bro.
Dang.
That's not supposed to be there.
Boom.
Boom. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. I mean, wow, like really great job with the water you got going on here.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm proud of the water. This is like, I mean, I've drawn water before, but like kind of like just water where like you'll put like little squiggles for the waves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I never done anything like crazy, so you know, this is one of the first times, like I guess, attempting to draw good looking water, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah, more detailed.
Yeah. And I think it turned out really well. And so let's just break it down really quick. I got it open in Photoshop right here. So let me turn off all of these layers. You can see you can see what we're working with. God damn, there's so many layers. So the initial sketch was this, you know, I knew what I wanted. Again, Pinterest helps so much when you're trying to come up with ideas. I looked for anxiety portrait, and there was a lot of black and white stuff. I already did a black and white, you know, cover art with Back in My Heart. So I was like, I'm not gonna go that way. There's some cool ones, but there was one where this girl was like under a faucet of water and just like, you know, kind of, guess like, you know, drowning in it, you know. And I'm like, drowning sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
And so I knew I wanted to have like my head poking out of the water. And so I sketched out a little ball and then started doing like the planes of the face a little bit. And this was just like a little rough sketch. I didn't go super detailed with it because like I knew half of my face was going to be in the water. So like it didn't need to be super crazy. Let me see. And so once I had that initial sketch, then started sketching out everything else, right? So like put that face on top of it. And I can bring up the opacity on this a little bit more. Let me see. So sketch my face on top of it, you know, and then all the water stuff. I looked up pictures of like how other people drew water and stuff and kind of use those as references to draw mine. And also I actually saw like a long time ago a TikTok about either TikTok or Instagram Reel. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
How to draw water, like, you know, like, and I remember a little bit from that video, so I used some of that for this too. And so mixed in a little bit of inspiration from different places, but this is the sketch we came up with. And so from that sketch, you know, we draw some outlines and stuff, like over here, or not outlines, but we start doing the line work. The face, we got the face right there, just floating.
Just floating, just a mask.
Exactly. We got some shading going on, which you'll be able to see better once we have the color on. But then we have all this other layers of, like, you know, outlined layers of water and stuff like that we eventually fill in with more shading and color, you know. And then you end up with this final artwork right here. And just some things I want to point out with this artwork that I'm really fond of. You know, the hair. Obviously, when hair is in the water, it gets like, it looks like that.
Yeah.
And one thing too, I guess a tip if you're ever trying to draw water for whatever reason, with the hair, like, you know, being in the water, usually like when I'm drawing hair, it'll have more curves and points to it. But everything when it's underwater, because you have like light refracting in there and things like that, nothing ever looks crisp and clear. It looks wavy. So there's no points in my hair. It's all just blobs. And it makes it look like it's underwater. And then obviously too with like the coloring as well, like it's not as completely black as it is on my head. And so, you know, keeping that in mind, you know, when things are inside other objects, the light's going to be affected, obviously. So
Yeah.
and after that too, we got some shininess going on my skin. Usually I'm not putting highlights on my skin, but because it's water and we want me to look wet and slick. Hell yeah.
It's glistening in there.
Yeah, I put in a little bit of highlights on, you know, where my nose would be, the cheek, the forehead, and then like the hair right there. And so, boom. And little highlights on the water too, because the sun, you know, reflects on water. But yeah, so that is the cover art.
I really like that one. I mean, I'm biased because blue's my favorite color, but like aesthetically, like this is one of my favorite cover arts from you.
Thank you. I'm actually like surprised at how much I like it. Because when I was coming up with the idea, like I like the idea and stuff. And as I was doing the sketches and everything like that, I was like, I don't know how well this is gonna be executed when it's all said and done. But once I finished it and like, you know, colored it in and everything, like nah, this is a good one. This is a good one. And I'm happy about that because like I told you, one of like my unwritten goals this year is to just have better cover arts, you know, better drawings, I would say, for my cover arts. And this is a good one. This is a good one. Keeping to my goal, keeping to my promise. And so yeah, I also agree. The blues on this one turned out pretty nice. It's pretty nice colors.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that one.
But when it comes to animate, because I still haven't made the visualizer for this yet. When the podcast comes out, it'll be done already. But I'm like thinking, like, do I animate the water? That's gonna be like so much time and effort. But like, what else am I gonna animate? That's like the only thing, right?
I mean, yeah. What about like, you like breathing and like looking worried or like opening your eyes? I don't know because I never animated anything. But
I mean, that would be fine, but then the water would be still, and water is never still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. So you have to move the water.
Basically,
Yeah.
that's my conclusion. Is like I just had to move the water, bro. Yeah, no, that's gonna be a pain, but I think will it be worth it? I don't know if I don't even know if I would say it would be worth it. It's definitely not gonna be worth it.
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not. But
it's gonna be cool though.
Yeah, so I should do it. Is what you're saying?
I'm gonna leave that up to you.
I think I might do it. I'll make it very brief and simple, but I'll do it.
There you go.
So that is that, guys. That is that, and I hope this kind of gave you a little bit more insight into me. You know, like I feel like a lot of times with this podcast, I'm just like, you know, we're kind of goofing around talking, and yeah, we talk about lyrics, so we'll get into topics like this, but this is one of the topics that is a little more serious, but I'm more open to talking about. So hopefully you listening, this gave you something. Hopefully you got something from this. And so, yeah, no, I appreciate all of you that do listen and that comment. I see the comments and it makes me really happy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and hopefully you guys leave a 5-star review on Spotify, because I love seeing those. It's so cool.
Real. I
have been Adriel Rivera and still am Adriel Rivera. This has been Pres. Are you still Pres?
I was just Pres, but now I'm Tegan Pres Washington.
No James?
Oh, damn. I forgot one of them. Oh, no. Oh, no.
And we make music in my shed.